Why would anyone want to do something like this? It's kind of a frivolous notion. All on a custom-made large tricycle. Well, I've always loved cycling, and I've always loved to play the piano. And I just had a natural inclination to try to blend the two together if possible. And most people would think that, I guess, that's a silly notion. But I ruminated on it for almost 30 years before I got serious about it. And about 5 years ago, I started to confer with Mark Nobilette, who's a custom bicycle builder that lives in Colorado, and a very fine bicycle builder. He's built bikes for USA Cycling. And Mark started to think of a design that would work for this project, and over the last several years, with the help of the Main Street Pedicab Company, also of Colorado, we adapted one of their existing designs to our purpose, and Mark hand built it, and that's the craft that we have traveled across the state in.
We're going to get a little tour of the pedal. What do we call this bike exactly?
Well, it's based on the design of a pedicab. It's a giant trike. It's a kind of an adaptation of a pedicab design. I can show you around.
Yeah, let's take a peek.
Yeah, let's take the tarp off, Brian. This is our 352-pound Baldwin Acrosonic piano that we carry around wherever we go. And this is our, Brian made this. It's our Joy Bow Expressor. It's a one-string instrument that he cobbled together a couple days before we left.
No kidding.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun with this. So we travel as a quartet. It's not just me. It's my mates here. Pete Sears, our drummer over here. And Pete's been pushing on the back of the bike. And Brian Delaney right here, our guitarist, and he's pushing on the back. And you can see the way the two bikes, we're taking one of them off now, but you can see the interface here, the way the bikes connect on the back. You just drop off your front wheel and hook your front fork onto these kind of dummy hubs that we've got on here, so that we've got two pusher bikes, and then I'm up front, and then our bassist, Carl Hildebrand, who's just down the street here. Carl rides on his own separate bike with his bass on a trailer there. We've already taken the bass off. We've got a threat of a storm coming, so we're trying to get things inside.
Yes.
And then all our stuff just goes in here. You can see this is our Brian's amplifier, which, as you said, is solar powered.
Tell you a little bit about the solar guitar rig that I have. I'm using a conventional electric guitar that's running into a blender that blends a couple signals off the guitar. But in addition to that, I have a very unique system here. These two solar arrays take the energy from the sun through these cables, and they enter into the back of my guitar amp. I'll show you right here. If you look very closely, you can see this little red LED, which is glowing red. You may not be able to see it in this bright sun, but it's converting the sun's energy into electricity. I made this special cable which allows that to happen. So I have a guitar rig that requires no wall current. If I'm out on the road with the bike, it takes 3.5 hours to actually charge the guitar amp up. So it has a lead battery inside, lead acid battery that's rechargeable. 3.5 hours on the bike and it's ready to roll.
Really a special bike, and it had to take a real serious, concentrated effort by a really talented frame maker to make something like this that would work as well as it does. In order for us to haul this kind of weight, we have over 500 pounds on the platform, and we're traveling sometimes 50 plus miles a day. Toolbox. This is my personal things, and this is our very all-important cooler. That we just keep that filled with gallons and gallons and gallons of water and Gatorade.
How much liquid do you go through on a typical day?
Oh man, one day the longest day on our trip was a 54-mile day, and it was in the 96-degree heat. We were over on the west side of the state. A week ago today, that real hot day we had last week, and we must have, I don't know, we probably each
We filled our water bottles, what, 10 or 12 times at least. More than that, much more than that. And then probably each drank 6 or 8 whole bottles of Gatorade each. We just couldn't hydrate them, just drinking constantly.
So it has to work and work well and be dependable, and it does. And we're just able to take something that's really kind of a frivolous project by nature and that just has a real outgoing kind of effervescence to it. But we're able to accomplish all the behind-the-scenes work that it takes in order to make the project really come off, so that when we get to where we are, all we have to do is play our music, which is ultimately what all of us are before anything else as musicians. Goal of the Joybox Express is probably twofold. You know, part of it is just to find out for ourselves what might happen to us and how it might feel to just get out on a cycle with the piano and go across the state and play for people, and all the work and energy that's required, and to see what it means to us, to see what it feels like. Half of it is probably just that simple, and the other half is to try to work hard to align ourselves with groups, as we have all the way across the state of Michigan, that we can are associated with kids, charities, particularly as it relates to the arts and athletics, because kids are having a harder time than ever participating in those activities, and those are my 2 lifelong passions. So we've tried to work hard with groups that are aligned in that way, as we are tonight in Detroit. Here at the Scarab Club, it's the very last concert date for the group. It's the end of our 13-day tour, and we're here in downtown Detroit at the oldest cultural arts heritage building here in the city of Detroit to play music and raise funds for the Tiny Scarabs. We started in July, this July 2nd, 2010, and we traveled about 305 miles, I would say very closely, and from Saugatuck to Detroit. This is one of my idols and my teacher, Little Brother Montgomery, right up here. Yeah. He was also on our shirt, as long as my recently deceased father, who's a big fan of this project. And that's about it. That's a pretty good tour of the bike.